curfew is again in force for the second night now. My colleague Peter Stefanovic is over there and he joins us now. Great to catch up with you, Steve. Pete, you've been flat out all day. Tell us what's unfolded and how the situation's looking at the moment.
Hi, Chris. It's hard to be serious when you follow that classic from Bob Catter, but
I should have remembered. You're a Queenslander too. You're from a better Queensland family.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it just makes me laugh every time I hear it. But anyway, look, it's past midnight now. The curfew's been in place for 4 hours. Things are pretty calm. I mean, there was a bit of activity last night during the curfew, night 1, night 2. I think all of the action happened a little earlier, to be frank. And we were there in the middle of it. So earlier today, we were with the protesters as they were keeping things fairly peaceful. It was almost a celebratory mood at that detention centre earlier, which has been the focal point for the past few days. They were cheering and they were getting a lot of car horns and you know, just being in supportive of the migrants here in California. And then that turned into a huge march involving several hundred, if not 1,000 people, as it snaked its way through the streets of downtown Los Angeles. And then, which caused all kinds of traffic drama, as you would expect, because cars had nowhere to move. And that's what I presume kicked things off for the LAPD. They'd had enough of that. The curfew hadn't been put in place yet, and they came out with the horses. They had the rubber bullets, they were firing those. They had the flash grenades, which they've been using as well, to great effect here in the last couple of days, because it surely does disperse the crowds. They tend to come back, though. But it worked to great effect today because, you know, if there was 1,000 people there, they scattered pretty quickly. And it got to the point where there was roughly 20 or 30 protesters left by the end after the LAPD had kettled them. And they were arrested and it was gone. And this all happened in the space of an hour or two. So it was quite an extraordinary end to the day. And since then, since that high drama, it's gone pretty quiet, I've got to say, Chris.
Yeah, well, 2 days in, I suppose that suggests that maybe the curfew move has worked. I'm just wondering, while all this goes on, and of course there have been protests in other parts of the country today as well, but while this goes on, have the immigration arrests subsided? Has the federal government slowed down in its pursuit of illegal immigrants because they've been preoccupied with the protests?
No, that continues. I mean, they do have a lot of resources at their disposal at the moment. You've got the ICE agents, and you occasionally see videos pop up on social media of witnesses who are describing what they're seeing as well. So that continues. But like I said, you've got the LAPD who are actually running the show here at the moment, at least from what I can see. You've got the National Guard who are outside that detention facility as well. So you've got those numbers that the LAPD can call on or can use as backup. Then you've got the Marines on standby as well here, Chris, who haven't been officially dispatched yet because they're still in some form of training. So there are a lot of resources still available here to be used in Los Angeles, which is allowing those ICE agents, those immigration agents, to go out and pick people up. I suspect the numbers have dropped a bit since the high over the weekend when they were going through various places, car washes, Home Depots, which is where a lot of Mexican migrants, illegal migrants, tend to gather because they're hunting for work. That's not a new thing. Even when I was living here 15 years ago, that's what they were doing. They would be assembling at a Home Depot outside, and if you needed some help, some day labour, you could ask them, and that's just how it functions. But so people are being picked up. I think perhaps a lot of people have been scared off too. Perhaps some illegal migrants who are looking for work or had been looking for work, perhaps they're in hiding for a few days to see how this all plays out. But yes, the short answer to your question is that those ICE raids are continuing.
Great stuff, Pete. Well, it's good to see that it's calmed down now. We'll see whether that holds in coming days. Thanks so much for staying up for us.
Sure.
Pete Stefanovic there, live from LA, just after midnight there, the curfew in place for the second night. We may have seen the worst of the protests, but you never can tell. Of course, we've got the weekend looming as well.